This week's episode is brought to you by Capital Financial Advisory Group for all your retirement needs.
Broadcasting from coast to coast, it's the Financial Safari with your host, Coach Pete D'Arruda. You'll hear from some of the nation's top financial professionals. So stick around and find out how to make it through the jungle of the financial world, right here on the Financial Safari.
Hello and welcome once again to Financial Safari, talking retirement and good retirement strategies, the approach taken by Capital Financial. I'm consumer advocate Dave Perkins, and Greg Berrien, speaking of Capital Financial, is Coach Pete's local trusted advisor. We're going to talk about Medicare in this first segment of the show today because, Greg, you shared with me at workshops, you cover the 5 pillars of a successful retirement. But the big questions come usually in 2 areas: Medicare or healthcare, general healthcare, and Social Security.
I'll tell you something, Dave. It's kind of interesting. I did like a little mini focus group, kind of like looking at things. And, you know, the 5 pillars, of course, folks, as you know, are very, very important. Number 1, income, huge. It's the biggest pillar that we have. Make sure you have income coming in. The second pillar is asset allocation, which is a direct reflection on your income. Now, the third pillar is very, very important as well. The third pillar, of course, is Social Security, which has a direct effect on your income. And then the fourth pillar is healthcare, not just Medicare, but all healthcare. And then finally, the 5th pillar is the legacy. So this past week, I was in Wilmington and Myrtle Beach, and all of a sudden I got this, let's ask everybody, any questions? First one, boom, nothing. When I asked about Social Security, holy cow, the whole room raised their hand.
All hands
even though I just went over it, okay? And then when I got to healthcare, the whole room raised their hand again. So I said to myself, people are starving for good information about these 2 very, very important things. So we're going to dedicate this time on the radio and on TV to make sure that we can answer all the questions that you have about going forward about these 2 things.
What were some of the main ones you received at the workshops?
When can I start? When can I start Social Security? And also, a lot of things talking about Medicare. We talked about IRMA. A lot of questions about that. Because when folks come here, they're ready to retire. They're looking at the cost of, which we're going to talk about IRMA in just a minute. Yeah. They're curious as to what they're going to be paying, what kind of advantages they have, going different directions. It's so confusing and intimidating to be able to have this whole process laid out for you. It's huge to have somebody you trust who's working not only with your assets and making sure that they're safe and guaranteed insured, but also that same person knows about the potential taxation issues that you're looking at as far as these 2 pieces go.
Now, our good friend IRMA, what exactly is IRMA?
The income-related monthly adjustment amount. Income-related monthly adjustment amount. And what it does is, I have a feeling, people always ask about Social Security, running out of, money and things like that, and what'll be affected. And so IRMA might have a larger play into this going forward because they're probably going to try to tap into people with more wealth. Okay, people with higher income. And so what it does, most people, Dave, in the United States for their Part B are paying $185 for their Medicare. Okay, and so, but the more money you make, the more money you pay. And then those that are less fortunate than us, they don't pay anything at all in some cases. But let's just say, you were working and you're retiring, you're single. And all of a sudden, because you're retiring, you get the gold watch, you get the dinner, you get the yay, Dave, you're great, thanks, we'll miss you.
Go get them, Tiger.
And on the way out the door, they give you a check for $100K, possibly, okay? Ooh. And let's say you're making $200,000 a year. This does happen where people will get larger bonuses selling out. Maybe they're selling out of practice, possibly, whatever it may be. So all of a sudden, normally your income as a certain amount, all of a sudden it just escalates. So if you're single, and if you make less than $106,000, you're going to get $185 on the IRMA. But if you're married, $212,000. But every time you get a little bump, like 106 to 133, it goes to $74 extra. This is for a single person, 133 to 167. It goes to 185 extra, then 295, 406. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It tops off. You're ultimately paying For your Part B only, $628.90 a month.
Wow.
That's your Part B only.
That's only Part B. And this is a 2-year look back.
Two-year look back,
When you first claim, you probably are looking back at when you were working and making good money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's the whole thing is, people are making better money. So therefore, it's just like, why should I pay extra when I'm not making that money anymore? So there is a form out there that exists. It's SSA 44R.
Uh-huh.
And what that is, it's a really basic form saying, okay, what happened? How much are you making in 2023 and how much are you making in 2025? You fill out that form and you send it in, and hopefully things adjust themselves so that it will adjust. To show that, yes, this was kind of a one-time thing. This is something that just happened to happen.
So, so there are things that you can do as you go forward in your retirement because you want good income, but it does affect what you could pay in your Medicare Part B.
And I challenge our viewers right now is, if you have an advisor, ask them about IRMA. What do I do about that? See what they say.
Well, first off, they need to know who IRMA. If they say, who's IRMA, you're in trouble.
Then give me a call.
Now, is it Part B and Part D?
Part B and D.
Okay, that it could affect.
Yeah, it could affect. And C in some cases, but yeah, Part B and D.
So, Greg, could this affect your Social Security?
Yeah.
How?
Absolutely. If you are collecting Social Security and if you're on Medicare, your Medicare Part B and or Part D comes directly out of your Social Security check. So if you're thinking, let's say you're going to get, $2,500 a month, and you're thinking you're going to, only be paying $185, thinking, okay, I'm going to be getting about $2,315 a month, and all of a sudden your first Social Security check comes in, and it's, golly, $2,000 a month. It's like, whoa, what happened here? Why is my Social Security check so low? And, unless you really know what's going on, you're just going to be at the graces of the federal government.
And we're almost out of time, but when there's a Social Security COLA, can that also affect the Medicare premium?
No, that doesn't affect it.
It's a wash. Sometimes that goes up also.
Yeah, the cost of living does sometimes offset the cost of your Medicare Part B premium. It depends. Also depends on what kind of inflation we're looking at. A couple years ago, when inflation was 8.9%, the COLA was 8.9%. Then, that outpaced the cost of the extra money for your Part B.
Okay.
But let's say the inflation goes down really, really low again, then it will not affect us greatly.
Well, you heard it. The questions are there, and it's understandable because we all will face decisions with Social Security and Medicare and overall health care in retirement. Bring your questions and all, even, of course, about income and proactive tax strategies and more. Call the number on your screen or text to set up your comprehensive review with the team at Capital Financial. And there's a lot more to talk about on Financial Safari.
Folks, just like a perfect pass, your retirement plan needs precision and strategy. In the Big Book on Retirement, I lay out the game plan for your successful future. From the kickoff to the final whistle, the Big Book on Retirement covers every strategy you need for a winning retirement. I break it down like a football play, making it easy for you to understand and execute my strategies. The Big Book on Retirement is your playbook to success. Get your copy of the Big Book on Retirement today and start planning your victory party with me by your side all the way through retirement.
Our belief is a major concern is longevity risk.
I talk to some people almost every day who don't want to retire.
And that assumption is the market's just going to go up and up and up and up and up.
But once you reach 70, there's no benefit to working anymore unless you like to work.
You won't hit 80, 85 years old and run out of money.
Unfortunately, in the world we live in, there's many times where people show up to work and they're told they're not needed anymore.
Is you got to make sure you have your budget and you have your assets set up in position to take you out all the way to 110.
The first 10 to 15 years of retirement is when you should do all the fun things because there's no guarantees in life. The day you wake up today could be the last healthy day, so make sure you treat it that way and do everything you want to do when you can do it. Let me tell you about the three worlds of investing. We color code money. Colors are easy for a lot of people, red, green, yellow. All right, red is risk. So the first world of money is risk, the risk world. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, 401ks, whatever. 401ks, mostly risk options, right?
Absolutely.
So anywhere you put your money that you could gain a lot of money but also lose a lot of money is called the risk accounts. That's the risk world. Nothing wrong with that. Heck, the younger you are, the more risk you should take. We've heard that too. The beauty of that and the reasoning of that is that if you're younger and you lose a lot of money, you've got a lot of time to make it back up. Now, I don't like losing money no matter what age I am. I never have, but I understand that philosophy, and I am a risk taker myself. I've been in crypto myself. You notice I don't really tell anyone to do it on the show because I don't really understand it. I put some money in just so I could try to understand the crypto world. And Chuck, here's a newsflash. I'm about 60% on my understanding of crypto, even though I'm immersed myself in it.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So no matter how much you think you understand it, there's something new coming up the next day or some scam the next day that you said, gosh, I thought that was legitimate. So you have to be very careful with these crypto things. But that's also the red world. You put money in there, your expectations are, well, your expectation should be you could lose everything you put there. But what is your expectations really when you put money in the red money? Is I want to make a lot of money. Well, if you're going up and down, you might make a lot of money one year and the next year you lose it all. So you have to be very careful. So that's the red world. The other world is the yellow world. Yellow is the medium world. That is, it means your money's not going to earn anything, but your money's liquid. So it is an emergency world.
Savings account.
So we put there, and that can be also considered in the green world as well because you can't lose the money. So the next world is the green world. So I'm going to tell you about the three worlds of money, and then I'm going to tell you about an asteroid that's very important, like Halley's Comet. But all right, so the safety, you got to have some money in the emergency account just in case the roof needs replacing or you need new tires, that kind of thing. I recommend 12 months of income in an emergency account. Now, it's not exciting. You can't earn much because the money has to be 100% liquid. So if you put it in a place where you I'll just put it in the stock market, I can get it anytime I want. So you put in, let's say your yearly income's $50,000. So you put $50,000 in your yellow account, your emergency account, but you put it in red. You put it in the stock market because you say I can get it anytime I want. Then you have an emergency 5 months down the road, and you say, Mr. Broker, give me that $50,000 back from my emergency account because I need it right now. And Mr. Broker will say, hey, your account's only worth $30,000 now. See, it's not 100% liquid. Even though it is liquid, it's not 100% what you started with. So be careful on that game right there. Green world, very important world. Green says you can't lose, and it will gain. So you're not going to get great gains, like gigantic gains, but you're not going to lose a thing. So that is the zero is our hero world, and some of the strategies there involve you get a share in the gain of the market, but you can't lose if the market goes down. That's in the green world. Now, a semi-distant cousin in the green world, because it is safe and it's very, very important, but it's not included in a lot of the green products or strategies, is the income world. That's the Halley's Comet. And this Halley's Comet comes by every single year. It gives you a financial fill-up. You have to have some money in the income world, the Halley's Comet, that's going to come annually and give you lifetime income your family can't outlive and will never stop coming, by the way, as long as you or your spouse is here. That comet will continue to come and give you that paycheck annuity. So it's the best thing for you, infinite income. I didn't say infant. I said infinite. Infinite income you can never outlive. Hey, I'm Coach Pete DeRuda, president of Capital Financial. Folks, the financial world is very, very confusing. That's why we put together a series of educational videos called webinars. You can see them at any time by signing up at CoachPete.com. We'll see you there.
Medicare changes 2025. Oh my gosh, there are so many changes coming up. You wouldn't even believe it. You've probably heard about it. Stay tuned and we're going to go forward right now. Okay, first of all, of course, your Medicare Part B is going to go up in price. And currently, for the average person, it's $174.70 a month. And this is an approximate cost, but right now CMS is projecting that your Part B will be $185 a month, which is about a 5% increase on the previous year. And then also coming right up now, for those of us who are fortunate, who have good retirement income coming in, you're making significant amount of money, Don't forget, we can't forget about IRMA, the income-related monthly adjustment amount. This comes into play for those of us that are making a little bit more money. So as we know, up until it went up to $210,000. Last year was $206,000. But up until $210,000 for a couple, you're looking at the $185 cost for you, okay? If you're a single, you can only go up to $105,000 before you see an increase. The next level up, it'll be a $74 more per month on top of the additional $85. Then the next level up from $262,000 to $326,000. We have $184 additional. Also, we can't forget the Part D. Okay, the Part D is not as significant, but this will actually be included in your cost. So let's say you even have a Medicare Advantage plan with a zero premium plan. Your Medicare Advantage plan will then cost you $35.30 if you're in this amount right here. And it keeps going up and up and up. So let's say here we are in 2025, they're measuring this on your income from 2023. So let's say 2023, you made this amount of money here, okay? But now going into 2025, you're retired and now you're making less than that amount, $210,000. Don't forget, you can file the form SS-44. SS-44 to get that reduced. Instead of paying the extra $184, you'll be paying nothing extra on that. And now coming up, changes to the Part D. You've all heard about this. The changes to the Part D, they are significant. This came about because the Inflation Reduction Act. And because of that, there's components in there that for some beneficiaries, Medicare beneficiaries, it's going to be super positive. And some Medicare beneficiaries, it's not going to be so positive. You're going to end up paying more money. And what that is number one, the donut hole is gone. Oh, thank goodness that donut hole is gone. That was such a pain in the neck to deal with. It was just, you never knew when you were going to hit it, get out of it, and it was just confusing. But that is gone. Now also, this is the biggie right here, right here. This is the big enchilada. The maximum out of pocket for your Part D is only $2,000. It used to be $8,000. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is it good or is it bad? We're going to get there. Now, here's another nice piece of that. It can be spread out over the entire year, just like how your electric bill is. You know how your electric bill is always really high in the summertime, but not so high in the wintertime. So therefore, what they do is they balance it out, and you're going to be paying the same amount of money every month, so it'll be much, much easier to budget with. If your medications were costing you $5,000, $6,000 a year, and now you're only be paying $2,000 a year, which you can budget out over the entire year, heck yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's fantastic. However, if you're 80 to the 90% of the people who don't need the $2,000, it's not so good, okay? Because what'll happen is it's going to affect everything, because that difference between, let's say you're paying $5,000, now you're paying $2,000 on your medications. That's a $3,000 difference. Who's going to pay that? The insurance company's not going to pay for it. So what they're doing is we're looking at some potential increases. There'll be possibly some increases in your Part D, your Medicare Advantage plans. You're gonna do without some benefits or some reduced benefits. That's just the way it is. It's just like when the Affordable Health Care Act came in, Obamacare. It did some great things. It helped a lot of people who couldn't get coverage, who couldn't get health care. But also what it did is it affected the entire industry. So this one little piece is affecting the entire industry. And so like I said, we're looking at the potential of decreased cost in Medicare benefits. So therefore, you've got to talk to us. You've got to give us a call. We're going to be able to put you into the best plan possible. All of my agents and myself, we work very specifically in various counties so we can offer you the best plan possible for the most bang for your buck. And we're going to take good care of you. Great talking to you. Thanks so much.
Do you hear that? That's me enjoying my retirement. Traveling around the world to play golf, where I want, when I want, with whomever I want. Even got some customized clubs. Because years ago, I rolled over my IRA with the help of a local trusted advisor. Contact us to get started today. This is a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review to help educate and enlighten.
Welcome back. It's Financial Safari, and we're talking about, well, really some important things for you to consider in your financial life, and that's certainly the approach. It's a custom approach with the team at Capital Financial. I'm Dave Perkins, and a part of that team at Capital Financial, Greg Berrien, Coach Pete's local trusted advisor. Greg, you always share with us a hypothetical scenario that's extremely relatable, and it's about building in that income in retirement. We call it strategy du jour. You've got a couple 60 years old with $1 million.
Dang!
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
starting out with $1 million. They're 60, and they want to turn this on at 65.
This is the number one pillar of your retirement, folks, the number one pillar. So here we are. We have two folks that they're both 60 years old. They have $1 million, and they're looking for guaranteed income for life. Guaranteed income. Can't beat that. Well, if we put that money into the account, in this particular account, we can lock in the income for their whole life, but they're going to start turning it on at the age of 65. So at the age of 65, what they're going to get is $57,500 a year. Okay? And this is the worst possible case scenario.
This is the market doesn't go up at all.
We're talking epic collapse. We're talking just zombie apocalypse, end times. You know, how's Bill Murray say it in Ghostbusters? Cats mating with dogs. Okay. At the age of 70, you've now gotten $115,000. At the age of 75, it's going to go up to $172,000. And at the age of 80, you've taken out $230,000 total. You know what this reminds me of, Dave? A regular pension.
Yes.
Think about it. At the age of 65 and at the age of 80, you're getting the same amount of money.
But this is like, you're right, a regular pension, but you're looking at worst case scenario.
This is worst possible case scenario.
Yes.
Never earned a dime. Now, but let's say the market does what the market does. It has good days, it has bad days, okay? But we're going to take advantage of the good days and let that build. Because here's the beautiful thing. At the age of 65, they're going to get 6.5% of their money. Okay, so at the age of 65 years old, we're going to start this off, and we're going to be looking at $112,931.
Okay, things got better.
There's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you something. Patience is a virtue, Dave.
Yes, it is.
Patience is a virtue. At the age of 70, now you're not getting an annual. Now we're just going with the total. We're up to $866,000 that you've taken out so far. At the age of 75. $1.7 million.
Started with $1 million.
You started with $1 million, and you have now taken out $1,777,000.
Wow.
Because here's the thing: is you're getting an extraordinarily high amount of money coming from it, based on the fact that they're giving you 6.5%, where the average advisor is only giving you 4%. So that's a significant amount of money.
Yes, it is.
A significant amount of money. And now at the age of 80, you've now taken out $2,705,405. Okay, now here's the beautiful thing. Let's say you and your beloved, you pass away right here.
Okay.
And let's say there is now currently money in that account. The money in that account will go to your beneficiaries.
Nice, and that's where it also is not like a pension.
Exactly. Like if you both passed away here, it's gone. It's done. You and your beloved, you've passed, kids get nothing. Nobody gets anything.
You're saying if you passed away with a pension, standard pension.
With a traditional pension.
Yes.
With a traditional pension. If you passed away with this plan and the market was down, yeah, you would actually end up, your beneficiaries would end up getting more, because you're living the dream here, getting incredible amounts of money. All righty. And so that's the beautiful thing. Eventually, this is another great thing, Dave, it runs out of money. There's nothing left in the account. Zero. The cupboards are dry.
But the good news is you don't run out.
But you don't run out of money. You keep getting money. You'll keep getting money, and it settles out at $185,575. Now, these folks are going to be dealing with Irma. But they're okay with it.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem. Yeah, it's like having too much left-handed pitching.
Because you talked earlier about Irma affects your pension, your premium you pay in Medicare.
Absolutely, yeah.
But still,
now you can afford it.
Right, exactly. And that's just one income stream.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget, we always promote having multiple income streams, multiple revenue sources. Because don't forget, this is just your green bucket money. You're still sitting on a significant amount of red bucket money there.
Man, that's why we always encourage you to call the number or text the number on your screen and find out how this could work for you. Let's look at the other stream of income, because you shared with us all the questions you get at workshops, especially major questions on healthcare and Social Security. So Social Security, probably one of those questions is, at what age should I claim?
Well, most people can start claiming at the age of 62. Those of us who are less fortunate and they might have a physical problem, okay, and they're on SSDI, they can claim it anytime before that. Okay, but most people can claim officially at the age of 62. Now, of course, the later you go into that period, you know, the larger you're going to be able to get, because every year it keeps going up 7.5%, keeps going up. Now, when I work with somebody who is single, okay, what I generally try to encourage them to do, if they're done working, if they are completely done working, is to turn it on sooner than later. Why?
Yeah, why?
Well, folks, if you look at your Social Security statement and you'll say, holy cow, you know, second page, bottom left-hand corner tells you right there how much money you put into that son of a gun. And if you pass away and you put $150,000 in there, poof, gone.
Wow.
So I can't tell you how many friends and family members I've had that have passed away and have never really collected a dime. So that's kind of an issue right there. However, if you're married, I generally like to see the smaller one turn their Social Security on and have the larger one go as deep as possible before turning it on.
Okay, why is that?
Why? Because eventually, generally, you know, in a couple, one person will pass away before the other, okay? Mm-hmm. So when that one person passes away, the larger one will take precedent over the smaller one. And so therefore, the larger that number is, the better off they're going to be, you know, the remaining spouse.
Yeah.
So it works out much, much better for them, you know, for a married couple on that. And the thing is also, let's say, you know, you were a stay-at-home parent all these years and, you know, your Social Security at 62 would be $700. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine. You start at 62, $700, okay? And then let's say your spouse, so Social Security at 67 is going to be $3,500. Mm-hmm. Well, when your spouse turns on their Social Security, your $700 goes up to $1,500.
They have
you get half of your spouse's.
Wow.
But don't forget, Dave, if you are going to start your Social Security, you have to slow down on any kind of income. Earned income only. Okay? It doesn't count money from investments, IRAs.
If you start early, full retirement
only
age.
Earned income, do they keep track of that? And that's $23,400.
Okay.
So you can't make anything more than that. Otherwise, you go into the penalty. For every $2 you make, you got to give $1 back.
Not confusing at all, is it?
Piece of cake.
That's why the team can help answer your questions about Social Security and all your other retirement-related questions. So we encourage you to call the number or text on your screen so you can set up a comprehensive review. The great thing is it is about you. It's a custom approach. It's about you and your retirement. For Greg Berrien, I'm Dave Perkins. Thanks so much again for joining us for Financial Safari.